Hi, what's going on, guys? My name is Ashura, and I am from a little town in Africa called Cape Town. It's in the very, very little southernmost part of Africa. So I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and I am here to talk to you about setting up boundaries. I have been part of many Facebook groups and other groups on social media, and I have noticed that a lot of people have this problem with setting up boundaries. And it's a lesson that I myself had to learn the hard way. And sometimes you have to start evaluating your life. So, for those of you who know me, I'm the queen of self evaluation. When things start to go wrong around me, I tend to look at myself to see what it is that I need to change about me so that my external environment, the one that I'm living in, can, change. And just on that subject, most of us, we go through problems in life, and the environment that we're in or the view that we're looking at is not the best view. We go through struggles, we go through turmoils, we have people that come in that bring drama. And really, if you just take stock of the situation and you look at why all this is happening, you will probably find that it is you that's allowing it to happen. Now, it's very easy to blame others and say, well, that one came into my life and caused such a drama. Or it's because of you that did this to me that I can't move forward. We play the blaming game, and we tend not to look at ourselves, because looking at ourselves is an uncomfortable experience. Self-evaluation is really uncomfortable. Now, when I say evaluation, I don't mean sit on your chair and, live in your head and think, well, what is it that I need to change? That is not evaluating yourself. That's thinking about things that are going wrong. That is the exercise of you living in your head. When you do a self-evaluation, you have to learn to sit down and take what is in here, and you've got to put it down on paper. You've got to take a pen and a piece of paper, and you've got to get it out. You've got to write it down. Evaluation is very important, and engaging the mental aspect of it, thinking with writing it down, really start setting yourself up for, you are taking action. It's an action that you're taking. So you really got to take that action. And yes, in the beginning, it tends to be a little bit tedious because in today's day and age with the technology, we don't often write anymore. But sitting down and just taking a few little notes about what is going on around you, and what do you think you need to do to change that, is going to be quite a big eye-opener for you. The thing is this, most often we go through these turmoils and problems, and then we try and fix it on the outside. For those of you who have had a reading from me, you've probably heard this before. This is going to sound very familiar. Is we have these problems and we try and get involved with each one of them. Okay, and we physically try to solve this problem with our two hands, or with our mental faculties, or we throw ourselves into it, and the problem gets worse. It might get solved temporarily. Certain problems, yes, can be solved. So this is really where the choices come in, where you have to decide which problems am I going to get involved in. Okay, now I have businesses of my own, and I also have friends that have businesses of their own. And often, you know how business is, where they get where you get caught up in quiet times, and the stress and the bills and everything starts packing on. And what I'm finding that they do is they start telling me how they've lost sleep and pacing up and down the passage, and developing anxiety around it. And you know, really, I went through that myself. And for me, I just find that, especially with business, and this is with most things in life as well, often we will sit up at night losing sleep about it, and we wake up tired and from all the stress and thinking and spending time with these problems in our heads. And you know, we face the day in a weakened state. So emotionally we are tired, physically we are tired. We don't feel strong because we didn't get any rest in the first place. So what happens is you're staying awake with your problems, you're keeping them company. This is what I say to them. And I've realized this. And a while back, I decided, well, you know what? Clearly, there is nothing physically I can do to solve this problem. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to sleep anyway, because I can bet your cotton socks, if you wake up tomorrow morning, that problem will be waiting for you at the end of your bed. Okay, so whether you choose to stay, the difference is that when you choose to stay awake with your problem, you are weakening yourself, because you wake up tired and drained. When you do actually fall asleep and you get that, you know, that little moment of rest, and suddenly you have to wake up, and then you've got to face the problem and face the day, and you are weak. So what I did was I made a decision, a conscious decision, that I was going to just put this problem out of my mind and go to sleep. And at least the next day, when I woke up, my problem was waiting there for me, but I would be fit to handle with this problem sitting with me. So really, your choices in life with your problems, you know, you need to try and figure out which problems are worth getting involved in. Okay, realistically, which problems can I solve now? Those are the ones you get involved in. The ones that are out of your hands, goodness, if there's no money to come in, you can't pay that bill. Okay, well, take a ticket in the queue. There's 10 other people behind you. You know, and it's a mindset, because you go through these roller coasters of emotions. And so yes, it takes a very strong mindset to kind of just like put it on the back burner. But what I do is, when I have unsolvable problems or reoccurring problems, I often have to evaluate. So if you're going through a hard time, okay, remember, and I always say this, it takes work. It takes work to rebuild yourself, or renew yourself, or renew your situations. And the work sometimes, in the beginning, it's like you're exercising your mental muscle, okay? You're exercising your emotional muscle. So it's basically like going to the gym. At first, it's hard and it's tough, and it takes a lot of work and motivation to do it. But once you get into it, all right, it becomes second nature. So this is exactly how it works with the evaluation, or the self-evaluation process. When you're sitting down and evaluating your problems, you write them down. If you want to write a 5-page book about your problems, go ahead, get it out of your head, extract it from your files up here, and put it down onto paper where you can view it with your eyes, okay? And then, because now you're becoming physically involved in trying to do this evaluation, then you will secondly just try and tick off which problems you can actually solve, okay? The little ones that are easy to solve. And the ones that you can't solve immediately, make a conscious decision to put them on the back burner. And what I do is the ones that I can't solve are usually the ones that used to cause me the most stress. But this is where meditation and visualization come into play. And these two techniques will give you the opportunities to build mental strength and to see what you are capable of achieving. And why I say this is because what I do is, if I have, let's say, I have a problem in the family that I can't resolve, okay, where things are out of my hands, and let's say I had an argument with a family member which caused a big boo-ha with other family members, and now I'm isolated and I am unable to go and resolve the situation. I'm literally like in a corner and I don't know what to do. So this is what I do. Remember, guys, always bring love into a situation, into an angry situation. Love will make you strong. Anger will make you weak. So what I do is I sit down and I visualize the people involved in this family issue, and I see all of us, including myself, not just them. I see all of us in my mind's eye as standing together, holding hands or putting our arms around each other, and I visualize a big bright half moon of light around us. Okay, now if you struggle to visualize light, the thing that I would recommend you do is to light up a candle and look at the flame on the candle, and then close your eyes and visualize the light and the faces of the people clearly, all of them together, in embrace or just being together. That is a good starting point. I was in a situation recently where I wanted truth to come out of a situation, and because I've been practicing this technique, this visualization technique, for so long, it's now become second nature to me. So when you're just going around the house doing your thing, or you're at work and you're doing your thing, and these mental thoughts creep into your mind, and you think of things people did wrong to you, and it's on your mind, it's constantly playing over like a tape on repeat. Then what do you do? It makes you anxious, and what do you do about it? You stress about it. So recently I had a situation with an issue like this, where I had a situation and I did not know how I was going to let the truth come out. So what I did was, as I was just going about my house, instead of thinking about the problem and so, blaming and thinking about why they did this to me and going into that low vibe emotional state, immediately I visualized this big pencil eraser, okay? And I visualized that eraser erasing all these negative thoughts, and I visualized the light around all of us. And in that moment of intensely wanting that truth to come out, I noticed how I was feeling, because this is very important when you visualize things. You must be able to feel in the moment a desire, and I'm not talking about a low vibe desire. I'm not talking about that desire to take revenge or anger. I'm talking about the real good desire for resolution, so everyone can be happy. And in that moment of visualizing all of us together, I asked for the truth to come out, for the greater good of everyone. And I verbally said it with my mouth as I was seeing it up here. I said, if the truth is meant to come out for the greater good, so be it. Truth, 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 truth. I occupied my mind with just those words and that picture in my mind. You know what happened? it was a few hours later, about 9 o'clock in the evening, when I got a message on my phone, and one of the people involved said, I would like to come and see you. And I thought, okay, well, this is very strange this time of the evening, but my intuition said, well, you know what, things as they should be, let the person come. And I let them come in to my home, and we sat down and we had a casual conversation about this and that. And then my husband, who was sitting next to me, all of a sudden started talking about the situation and informing this very key player, this very key person, about the truth. Because you see, my husband is a very stubborn man and he does not like to talk. But something, I don't know what it is, prompted him just to speak. And in that moment, that entire problem that has been carrying on for almost 12 months solved itself. And what a big relief that was. So you can literally visualize things being solved. So in other words, you have to see it in your mind's eye as if it's happening. It has to be coupled with a feeling. So practice your visualization skills. Meditation is another way. I would recommend that you don't do, if you've never done meditations before, and this is not something that you can guide yourself through when you're in that moment of relaxation, is that you go onto YouTube or go onto the internet and find a guided meditation for truth or for clarity or for solving the particular problem that you have. And you'll have someone's voice guiding you in step by step by step. So yes, guys, that is going to be, for me, those are the two ways that I deal with problems that I can solve and problems that I cannot solve, mostly. And I say this because I have had a lot of experience, had a lot of problems to work through, as I'm sure all of you have had, is that if you can see it up here, you can see it over here. So it starts here. The more you think about unresolvable issues remaining unresolved, that's where they are going to remain, as unsolved. The more you see it as solved, you give it that feeling of how you really want it to be solved desperately, that feeling of happiness that you will feel once it's solved, and that feeling of relief, that problem will solve itself. So for me, the process of visualization and the process of meditation in trying to solve my unsolvable or physically unsolvable problems are me communicating with my guides. Because when it's out of my hands, it's in their hands. Okay. I also, with unsolvable problems or difficult problems to solve, it is always good to tend to analyze it and go like, what am I supposed to be learning here? I am being humbled to learn what lesson? Have I learned the lesson? Have I faced this problem before? Why has it come back now? Why is this problem playing on repeat? And this happens with money issues usually, or people that take advantage of you. You have the same problems playing on repeat over and over. So this point of evaluating your problems and setting boundaries with which problems you are going to solve and which ones you're going to hand over to your guides are very important.